I'm Mara Webster with In Creative Company, and today I'm so excited to be talking about the series Happy's Place, and I'm joined today by cast members Reba McEntire, Belissa Escobedo, Melissa Peterman, Pablo Castelblanco, Linn, and Tokala Black Elk. And Reba, I wanted to start with you in talking about your portrayal of Bobbie, because one of the things that I love in the way that you play her is she has such fortitude and strength around her, and yet because of this amazing group of people that she's so close to, we get to see what it looks like when she lets her guard down, when she feels vulnerable or uncertain. And, throughout the first episodes in season 2, we see this whole other side to those vulnerabilities because of the storyline with Emmett. And I was interested in how that gave you a lot more to play to in terms of the softer side and those little moments.
Wow, that was a lot. The support that I get from my Happy's Place family gets me through all kind of different predicaments that unfortunately I get myself into, or that they bring to the Happy's Place Tavern, and we work it out together. I think that is the strength of the show, is that no matter what problems each individual brings in, we as a group help each other to make it either go away or we fix it.
I love that, and Belissa, in talking about Isabella, she's someone who's so open and honest whenever she's struggling with things or whenever she feels uncertain. But she's also someone who kind of very outwardly wants to try to be the best version of herself. And I wanted to ask about the way that that really folded into playing her in season 2 a lot for you.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite things about Isabella is she really is kind of the epitome of like the mid 20s. You have this college degree that you haven't used yet, but you're completely in debt for it. And it's just that point that everyone gets to in life where they have to really look at it for what there is, look at all their options and say, okay, what am I going to do with what I'm presented with? And I think, especially in the first few episodes of the season, she's figuring that out while also cultivating her relationships with everyone else at the bar.
Yeah, absolutely. And Melissa, in talking about Gabby, one of the things that I appreciate in the way that you play her is, she has these kind of pain points or stories that she tells about her mom, but she always does it through the lens of comedy. And I think comedy is such a fantastic lens to have those harder moments for characters, especially someone like Gabby, who's so strong on the outside. And I wanted to ask about how that really folds into the way that you play her on the show.
I think, a lot of the people that I think in real life are funny comedians, they often are funny because they had some tragic in their life, some tragedy in their life. So I think that people that are, the ability to laugh at the things that are hard is sort of a coping mechanism for a lot of people. And I think Gabby definitely is someone who has to make fun of it because, otherwise she'll cry about it. But it's, and she's also has distance now, like she's, has distance from her mom. So she can use humor to sort of make light of it, because what's the other option, because it's kind of, it is sort of a devastating, if you listen to all the things she said about her mother, it was not a pretty picture. But yeah. And I think in real life, people often always, use comedy to make moments lighter. I'm married to an Irish guy, and there's moments where it's like, not Irish from third generation, but he pretends he's like right off the boat from Ireland. But so like laugh at a funeral, like you are crying and laughing in moments, right next to each other. So I love that aspect about Gabby.
Yeah, you're so right about that. And, Pablo, in talking about Steve, we've seen him grow so much in this really sweet way where, there was this kind of rigidity and he was really trying to figure out how to overcome a lot of his OCD tendencies. And, I feel like you've kind of carried that growth episode by episode. So when we look at where he is at the beginning of season 2, it's so far forward from the point that he was at. And I was just curious for you and how you've really worked to shape that journey over time.
I think it's been such a wonderful journey of showing that friendship, companionship, and support really helps someone deal a lot with issues they have, and all the characters go through that, but specifically for Steve, it's just knowing that his journey is going to be a journey he's going to be in forever. And he has like a family and some very good friends that are going to support him through that. And I think that was the biggest thing I brought into season 2, is knowing that he is aware of that now. He is aware that he now has friends and family. And it was kind of proven in the first season with everyone's support and with the friendships he made with Emmett and with Dakota and with everyone else in the bar, that he now comes in the second season more secure of himself to just try to keep getting better. I feel like the journey is not over, and he learned that, but he knows he has the support.
Yeah. And Rex, in the way that you play Emmett, I think what's really sweet is getting to see this whole different side of him when he's around Bobbie. And it was always centered around their friendship. But obviously now with the romantic element, it's like, okay, he's showing up at her house and he's wearing a slightly nicer shirt and he doesn't have the bandana on. And, what are some of the little tweaks that you wanted to make in playing him and just finding the details in him with all of that?
Well, I think first of all, I mean, I think that Emmett really does understand the human condition. I think he's kind at his core, but he also he was Happy's best friend, and he wants to. I think he's sort of navigating the ship from the kitchen, but he wants everything to be all right, and he wants everybody to be all right. And then Bobbie came into play in his lifetime, so now he's having to deal with a big secret that he's got that I can't talk about, but it's so there's that all that kind of conflict going on with Emmett. So I'm trying to play him as the gruff guy that he is, but also show the human side of him, the kind human condition side of him, and hopefully it comes off that way.
Yeah, no, you've done it beautifully. And Tokala and talking about Dakota, one of the things that's really great in the way that you play him is just this real observational quality. He's someone that kind of is quite comfortable just quietly sitting back and observing and listening. So almost by the time people want advice from him or they need him to help with something, he's already there with them because he already knows what it is that they want or where they're at emotionally. And I wanted to ask about, just the art and the craft of incorporating something like that into your performance of him.
I feel like Dakota is the good brother of everybody that's here. He's kind of either that or sometimes he takes this uncle kind of status where he's worried about everybody. But at the same time, don't get Dakota wrong. There's some silly that happens with Dakota quite a bit. And I look forward to bringing that silly to you every time you guys come and watch another episode.
It's wonderful. Reba and Belissa, it's been really beautiful to watch, the friendship and the literal sisterhood grow between your characters because at the beginning, they'd both been raised with different ways of communicating and different sensibilities to everything. And now they kind of have this really shared communication. And I just wanted to ask about the way that that's really evolved and grown for both of you.
I think it's been so natural with us, um, and with the rest of the cast as well. I think just being around each other, we came back to season 2 pretty quickly. And so it kind of felt like a little summer break and then we were right back with everybody. And so those relationships, they just kept getting more and more deep off screen. And so by the time, we got our scripts and we're back with our characters, it naturally just had deepened. Like the way we interact with each other had become more natural. So it felt very easy. And I think, yeah.
I relate this TV show like a country song. When you find a song that people can relate to, that's going to be a very popular song. They're going to want to hear it over and over. And what our writers and Kevin Abbott, our showrunner, has developed with Happy's Place is a show that people can watch and take something from it that they can relate to in their own lives. Or if they can't relate it in their life, they know somebody that they can say, hey, you know what Bobbie did or what Isabella did? This might could help you with your relationship. So it's always a learning process, and that's what Kevin has been really, really good at. It's a lot of heart, there's a lot of funny, but you go away on every episode going, oh my gosh, yeah, I learned something here.
You're so right. And I love that analogy as well. And even the way that this show has all this different, specific language and communication between each of the different relationships. And Melissa and Pablo, the two of you have this great friendship between your characters. But the way that they express it is always these very sarcastic jabs that they love to make at each other. But that's their way of showing that they care. And how have you really found that, the comedic sarcasm is their way of expressing their feelings for each other?
I love it. I think that, Gabby and Steve, they like to give each other a hard time, but if anyone else did, they'd be the first ones to defend them, which I think is, everyone can relate to that. Like I can say it, but you can't. and and they understand each other. They get each
We
other.
both have sisters, so we also have that understanding of just knowing that person that you can go very fast, like from 0 to 100, and everyone understand the context. And that's kind of why I think of our relationship in the show, because it's just like that person that you can just hit to the core, and it's like a little jab with truth, but it is never meant to hurt. They're never saying anything that's really vile to each other, but they're just really probing each other. And I think both are getting better because of that.
Yeah. And I mean, and in just the way we work, Pablo and I love to like dissect little comedic moments and like the physicality of things, which is really fun to work with them that way. And we've gotten to do some physical stuff together, which I really, really love.
Yeah, this season, a lot of prop play.
Yeah.
And Rex and Tokala, both of your characters, like you were kind of both talking about before, are so astute in the way that they read each other, and they're both kind of as equally comfortable as they are in their own corner as they are being in the center of this ragtag group in this really wonderful way. And how does that really give you a shared sensibility which bonds your two characters? Because again, they have such a lovely friendship to see on screen.
Well, I think first of all, I got to go back to what Pablo was saying. Everybody on this show, from my perspective, is really great. It's been so much fun watching everybody develop in this sitcom and the storylines. But right now, and Belissa's amazing, Reba's amazing, Melissa's amazing. But my two favorites right now, Pablo and Tokala, watching them work together, they got a thing going on that it's even funny if you're in the scene with them. I just had to get that out. I was listening to both of them talk. And again, I love every cast member in this show. Everybody's got great talents in it, except for me. But those two are killer together.
More than the rest of us, though. Just a little bit right now.
I'm telling you, it's been a lot of fun watching the two of them. I was just thinking of that. So sorry, I didn't answer your question exactly, but you want to answer a question?
I feel the same way about this guy and Pablo and Melissa and Belissa and Reba. I mean, it is wonderful to be able to come into work and feel like you're around family, but it's also wonderful to be able to have that as an actor, to be able to give that to the audience, because it's coming from a genuine place. So we don't have to actually use that as a layer inside of our acting, just who we are. And then the acting actually gets to come out from there, which makes it more powerful. I love being with my family on Happy's Place.
Thank you.
And I think that, sorry, I was going to just sort of add that I think each of us sort of, we love it when we have scenes together, and then we miss the ones that sometimes maybe we're not involved in that storyline. So I think that speaks about how much we like to work with each other. And the writing is that we miss each other when we're not in scenes, but we love it when we get paired up with someone new every week. So to me, that's what's been the most fun, is just going, oh, I can't wait to do a scene with Belissa, or I haven't done a scene with Rex yet, or Tokala. It's really fun to mix and match, and we all do well together. You can put us all.
That started off early too, because there was a point where I couldn't wait to get Gabby. I was thinking, well, Melissa hadn't even been in the kitchen yet. And then Belissa hadn't been in the kitchen yet. Reba hadn't been, Tokala hadn't been, Pablo hadn't been. And I started kind of whimpering and kind of pleading, when are everybody else coming in the kitchen? So it's all happened though. It makes it for a fun work day.
And Belissa, you've also gotten this wonderful opportunity to play a character who comes in at the very beginning as the newest person to everybody else having such deep-seated history with each other. And now she's kind of really found her rhythm within this group, and it really is a literal family and a found family for her. And how has that changed a lot of elements of the character for you?
I think, Isabella went into this and still carries a piece of her that truly is just searching for connection. And so she really found that at Happy's. And just like, Pablo was saying about Steve, in the first season, that was kind of solidified for her as well. And so in this second season, she's also coming with this sort of newfound confidence and maybe getting a little more snarky with people because she feels comfortable and she knows that she's safe with them.
Yeah. And Reba and Rex, obviously you built such a great foundation between your two characters in the first season. I love the fact that Bobbie can come into the kitchen and sometimes she just wants to talk and be heard. And he knows, okay, I don't need to tell you anything right now. I know that you just need the space for someone to listen and be there for you. And, how have you found that going into season 2 and kind of exploring more of a romanticism between the two of them has allowed you to just build off the foundation of everything that you already built in season 1?
Tater tot. Ladies first, always.
Well, I think it has really helped our situation on screen by being a couple off screen, and we're very comfortable in our scenes that we get to do together, and it's fun, it's natural, and he's a great rehearsal partner. So I feel very confident coming to work because I know my lines because of Rex, and it's just so much fun. I just can't wait to get to work every day. We get to come in here. Everybody feels that way.
We really do carry over our personal life to some extent into the workplace, and it's made it. Most people will ask us, "What's it like?" Meaning, there's a probability that it can't be that good, being home all the time and then coming to work and being together all day long. It's been the best ever. And we carry a lot of our personal stuff from home in our scenes that we have with Bobbie and Emmett. We feel really comfortable doing those scenes because we're doing them half the time in the kitchen anyway, only it's a real life kitchen. So it's helped out a lot. I think it's helped a lot, personally.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And I love the point that you just mentioned, Reba, about, how the way that Rex works and he always wants to be the first one with a script and he's always drilling his lines. And, Melissa, I've heard you say that has kind of changed the way that you work on this show because of the way that he approaches it. And just wanted to ask about how that's kind of almost drilled into your head in a different way as well from partnering with him.
I think Rex is one of the finest actors I've ever met. And his work ethic is, it's just off the charts, and he is an actor that loves to really work a scene, and he will do it over and over again. And I'm not that I like to think I have a pretty good work ethic, but I also would err on the side of, oh, I got this. And I love that. I think Rex has made us all sort of want to rehearse more and like really just, because I always am like, if you know the lines, then you can play. Like that's the gravy. Like if you know what you're doing, then that's when the playful stuff really happens. But I admire Rex, and I honestly, I think part of me wants to live with him too, just so I have a rehearsal partner 24/7. Actors and improvisers, but I don't think he would want to work that hard all the time with me. But no, anytime you want to ask to rehearse something, Rex is there, and I trust him. It's funny. I think we all want each other's approval in a way. So I love it when Rex will come up to me. It means a lot when he says that I've done a good job in a scene, and I want to hear it from all of you. But it means different things from different people in different weeks sometimes. But I really, when Rex gives you a good scene, and it means a lot.
It means more than mine.
Thank you, Melissa.
And, lastly for you, Pablo, one of the things that's very sweet in watching Steve as a character is he has these kind of very specific gestures that he makes towards the people that he cares about, and they can be something really meaningful. Like giving his favorite pen can be the biggest gesture in the world. And I just wanted to ask about, some of what you found in playing a character who expresses themselves in that kind of like quiet way that's really meaningful at the same time.
Yeah, I feel like, oddly enough, it's maybe more intentional in how I approach people. I feel like I could very, very easily just get through a conversation in the day and not even think about it. But I think through Steve, I realized how like meaningful is the people that are there. Like you're constant people every day. I feel like it's made me appreciate my friendships deeper because I shouldn't take for granted that shorthand I have with people that know me from my core, So I've tried to make an effort to, stay connected to my friends from high school and all my friends that I have here in LA that are like people who know me to my core. Because you feel like sometimes they're taken for granted. Oh, they're my friend. They're there always. They're there. And now it just makes me want to make an effort because we all need help. We all need company. And that's kind of something I've taken from Steve.
That's really wonderful to hear. And, congratulations to all of you on season 2. And thank you so much for sharing all of this. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Complete honor.